Thanks, Patrick, for coming out to Montana and giving a really fascinating talk last night at Carroll College. You shared with us a lot about the work that you're doing as a staff attorney for the National ACLU's National Security Project, and a lot about the revelations that we've just recently learned regarding the NSA surveillance programs. I know that the event was recorded by HCTV and will be rebroadcast here in Helena, but thanks to our supporters and donors, we were able to bring out a fantastic speaker like you, an expert on this issue, to Montana, and I'd love for other people in the state who weren't able to make it last night or aren't going to be able to see the rebroadcast here in Helena to learn a little bit more about what you shared. So I was hoping that you could share maybe just a snippet of the great information that you shared with us last night. Could we start off by having you let us know in a nutshell what is going on? What are these NSA surveillance programs and what have we learned about them so far?
Sure. Thanks, Nikki, for having me out here. It's been a real joy to have the ACLU of Montana bring me out and to talk to Montanans about these digital privacy issues that they already care about but are curious about, learning more. What we've learned over the summer, thanks to Edward Snowden, is about two main programs that I think have hit the news and that Americans should be keeping in mind as they keep an eye on their congressional representatives and think about what they can do to improve digital privacy for themselves and for other members of the public. One is a program that tracks the phone calls, the metadata for phone calls for every call that Americans make every day. And it's been doing so for over 7 years, even though we had little idea that this was happening. So under that program, the NSA collects a record containing who you call, the phone numbers related to the call, the time of the call, and the duration. And that information is turned over by the phone companies to the NSA on an ongoing daily basis. The second major program is one that examines the content of Americans and other foreigners' international communication. So it's a program that is ostensibly designed to capture the email of foreigners abroad, but inevitably sweeps up the emails, the text messages, the phone calls of Americans when they correspond with their family, their friends, their business associates who are overseas. And in the course of that, the government is subjecting all of those emails to a kind of keyword searching as it looks for its target. So we think that warrantless wiretapping effort is also very problematic under the Constitution and in terms of the privacy of Americans.
Now, why should Montanans care? We hear people from time to time say, I have nothing to hide. Why should I be concerned about having my emails read or my phone records read? What would you say to people who do think that this is no big deal?
I think the people who say I have nothing to hide are really giving the wrong answer to the wrong question. Because the issue is not whether you or I or other people who've done nothing wrong have nothing to hide from the government. It's about a much more fundamental idea of privacy. And we all, no matter who we are and what we do, we have different spheres of our life in which we want to share different kinds of information. We would not invite a representative from the government to sit at the dinner table with us every night, even if all we do is talk about sports or our kids' homework or what's on television. And that's because the home is a sanctuary and it's a place where you have a sense of autonomy and control over your life. And in the same way, the government should not be tracking who we call without any suspicion or any basis to think we've done something wrong. So the question is really, what justification has the government provided? Not that everyone should be subjected to this type of intrusion just because they're also one of many innocent people. And I think that's something that really will connect with Montanans, because we know that here in Montana there's a deep sense of privacy and that people really care. The state has led the effort in designing protections that will enhance our privacy in this new digital age. It has passed laws that are the first in the nation protecting cell site location data, GPS location data, requiring the police who want to get their hands on this information to first go to a neutral judge and to show that they have probable cause to get this very revealing information about where people move about every day. And Montana has also passed a law that provides that the government must get a similar kind of warrant before it can access information generated by drone surveillance. So these are important efforts, and they really show that Montana is at the front and that the ACLU of Montana has been done great work in lobbying its state representatives to pass these bills.
So what's up next? What are you working on? What is the ACLU working on? And how can Montanans help?
So what's on tap right now is a major effort in Congress to re-examine the NSA surveillance programs based on everything that we've learned and the public's discomfort with the level of surveillance that's being subjected, not just at specific targets overseas, but as a blanket dragnet matter back at Americans right here at home. And there are bills before Congress that would reform both the programs themselves and the secret FISA court that has approved many of these programs without Americans even knowing that these secret judicial interpretations that affect their Fourth Amendment rights, that affect their privacy rights, that affect how we think about the government's surveillance powers under the Patriot Act. And the bills in Congress right now, some of them would keep in place these discomforting, disturbing programs that violate our privacy, while other ones would rein them in. And it's important for Montanans and Americans in general to get in touch with their congressional representatives and to make it known that they would like the NSA surveillance programs to change, and to change at their core, not just on the surface.
Great. Well, thank you again to our supporters and donors for allowing us to bring you out. This has been really great. The Lewis and Clark Library and Lewis and Clark Library Foundation co-sponsored the event last night with us, and that was really wonderful to partner with them. But most of all, thank you for taking the time to come on out to Montana, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here.
Thanks very much, Nikki. It's been great to be here.